May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanye joda zoge jonam loy chanjo pardo dane gyabso che dage jinso kebe sonam gi dola benjire sanye jubara isho sanye joda zoge jonam loy chanjo pardo dane gyabso che dage jinso kebe sonam gi dola benjire sanye jubara isho Sanje choda soge chonamla chancho bardo dane gyabso che dage jinso kebe sonamgi dola penjire sanje drubara sho Om ye dharma he tu prabhava he tum te sham dathagato yavatat Esham chayo nirodha evam vate mahashramanaye svaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum te sham dathagato hyavatat Esham chayo nirodha evam vate mahashramanaye svaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum te sham dathagato hyavatat Esham chayo nirodha evam vate mahashramanaye svaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, this morning we have been talking about the potential, that we all have the potential. And some of you, as I said earlier, some of us may be feeling a little, say, low, or, I don't really have the potential, but it's not true. We all have the capacity for the total fearlessness and infinite happiness. This is the reality for all of us. Whatever religion that you're following doesn't matter. Whatever gender is a reality that holds true across the board of the humanity. So with this, and you may be wondering, and again, whenever I make some statements, and of course, keep in mind that when I make these statements, it's not that I'm making it. These are things that I cannot really say anything, whatever I like, because it should be very standard. Because if I go off the track, and then there's no benefit for you, there's no benefit for me also. So whatever I say, it should be coming from the very standard sources. So meanwhile, I'll also say things which I'm convinced about. I'll not make statements which I heard, I learned, but if not convinced, I'll keep it on hold for me to grow further. Okay, so with this, what I'm saying is that when I make such statements, you may not be able to grab it fully at the point, but what is expected is that make notes of these for your further analysis and to gain conviction, to gain understand, to be convinced or not convinced, whatever, that you will decide. So with this in mind, the Prince Siddhartha, after becoming enlightened, he became extremely convinced that everybody has the same potential. So when it's not about that, okay, you are a Buddhist, you are a special person. This is not a reality. That the reality is that everyone is, if there is one person who's special, everyone is special. Everybody has the same potential. So and you may be wondering, in the life of the Buddha, the in the life of the Buddha, what did he, in real life, what did he exemplify with respect to seeing everybody having the same potential? Is that he very courageously fought against any form of discrimination, gender discrimination, so forth. And unlike today, in the olden times, the gender discrimination was a big chronic disease. It was a chronic disease in those days, gender discrimination. That male, even nowadays, even the parents, they prefer to have male children. This is the indication of the backwardness of the communities where the male is given a preference. This is a clear indication of the backwardness. So the Buddha, seeing that everybody has the same potential, so he fought against any form of discrimination. And of course, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. For example, there are many complications with respect to the real world. There are many the unfortunate incidents where even two good people, they cannot meet because of some the political pressures. These things happen, very unfortunate. So under such situation where the male chauvinism was so badly a chronic disease in those days, the Buddha very strongly fought against that. In other words, for Buddha, everybody is same. There's no high, low, everybody is same. With respect to your potential, with respect to potential, everybody has the same potential. There's no one who is superior, there's no one inferior. If one is the superior, everybody is superior. This is what the Buddha said. Because of this, that he very strongly fought against any form of gender discrimination or discrimination against caste, creed, and so forth. This is something very, very unique of the Buddha. Okay. So, having said this, you may be wondering, say in a concrete sense, what do you mean by that potential that everybody has? What do you mean by that potential? Technically speaking, I would call it as a hidden treasure, and the hidden treasure which exists within every one of us. And this hidden treasure is technically known as Buddha nature or Tathagatagarba. So note it down later on. These things will be useful, particularly if you want to go into more detailed studies. You need to seek the help of the people who learn it, and those people, the learned people, will be interested in you only if you have all the technicalities in your hands. So they are known as Buddha nature or Tathagatagarba, and in a loose sense, I would call them as hidden treasure. Okay. Okay. Now, when we say Buddha nature, it doesn't mean that oh, now he's about talking about the Buddhism. While he's talking about the secularism, he's now bringing Buddhism. Everybody has the Buddha nature. So Buddha and Buddhism, there's a distinction there. Buddha means, it's a Sanskrit word. In English, it simply means the awakened one. Anybody can be awakened, not necessarily Buddhist, not necessarily males. The non-males, non-females, females, anybody can be awakened. And so therefore, it is not confined to Buddhists or males and so forth. It's the equally applicable equally to everybody. So the Buddha simply means the awakened one. And why awakened one? This will come to learn later. For the time being, just note it down that everybody has which is technically known as Buddha nature, or Tathagatagarba. Tathagata meaning the one who has gone to the thusness or ultimate. Garba is the essence. Essence of the one who has gone to the ultimate. Essence of the one who has gone to the ultimate. This means of Tathagatagarba. Now the next thing is that so we all have this Tathagatagarba. Each one of us, we have the Tathagatagarba. Yes, we have this Tathagatagarba. What is this Buddha nature? What is this Tathagatagarba? This next question. What is it? And the next question is, yes, it's going to be interactive. So I will say I explain something, then I ask you something, then you give me the replies, and then we'll see how we keep going. So it should be that we should keep, it's a flow. We have to keep growing ourselves. So with this in mind, they say, what is that Buddha nature like? And we must get a sense of that, and we must be convinced, and particularly during the group discussions. What we suggest is that particularly the beginners, you have to push those people who who have been studying for the last 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Push them harder, give them a hard time, ask them questions. You're getting it? Say some of them may explain something, and you think that okay, she may be right, he may be right. No, just push harder to make sure that the person actually got the answer, and you also get the answer. So this is something that we have to drive. So with this in mind, this is so important. If we get convinced, if you get a conviction in this, the presence of Buddha nature, the presence of the hidden treasure within each one of us, your life will be very beautiful. Your life will be very beautiful. Age will not. Say you're young, you'll say, okay, now I have to use the youth productively. I have to Buddha nature. And those who are the elders, like older, like my age, oh yes, now I do have the Buddha nature. Although physically I'm aged, but I do have the Buddha nature. I can make it manifest. So what is this Buddha nature? We have to try to understand it first, and then get conviction in this. For this, usually I give the example. I give a metaphor, and this is very important. And see that if it makes some sense. If it makes sense, this will give a joy in us. That this is a very precious information, the precious knowledge, precious wisdom, which we inherited from the great Nalanda masters and from the Buddha. And today we have His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Amazing manifestation of this wisdom. So where the karma is gone, where the karma is when the karma of the ordinary beings, when there is missing, then the people, they cannot distinguish between the gold and the brass. They think the brass also gold, gold is also brass. His Holiness, the true embodiment of the Buddha, true embodiment of these brilliant knowledge is still here. So we are very fortunate. And in fact, what's that? There was there's one gentleman from Spain, from France, and we had a long chat yesterday with respect to his personal matter, and he said that in my life I have no regret at all. He said he's already little maybe younger than me. He said, in my life I have no regret. There's only one regret, he said. It's beautiful. He put it so beautifully. There's only one regret. The one regret is that, why is it that I met with these brilliant teachings of the Buddha only late in my life? Why did it not happen in my younger days? This was the regret, he said. He put it so beautifully. So he was saying that all what the Buddha taught, this is so profound. Everything resonates with the reality. So, on that I learned about the Buddha nature since my 20s. I learned about it more professionally as a student. And the conviction, of course, it took every time there was unraveling, unfolding of this reality that, wow, Buddha nature, even he has a Buddha nature, even she has Buddha nature, seeing that somebody is growing so fast. Wow, this person also has a Buddha nature. I thought that earlier, 3 years ago, this person is so dull. It's not dull, right? Buddha is awakening. Now the person is very different. Knowledge is very different. How the person speaks is very different. And they say, it was my 6th year or 7th year that in the monastery, there was one monk who was very junior to me. And the age-wise, maybe be a little close. And they said, during every debate session, so monks, they take turn to debate, and then that too, not like, it's your turn. No, there's no compulsion there, but everybody take turn. And then he would make sure that during on every occasion, he would make sure that he also take part in the debate. Although that time impression that I got, that others got, is that his IQ is less. Yet he was struggling, standing, throwing questions, and questions are so shallow. And the answers, the moment he stands up, asks question, the one who gives an answer, it becomes lax. Okay, it's going to be a very shallow question. Or sometimes they may be very happy that they would not be challenged with deep question. After 2 or 3 years of seeing the same monk throwing questions, whatever question that he asks is so sensible. Whatever answer that he gives is so sensible. Wow. Now I believe in the presence of Buddha nature in everyone. Now the IQ is not less, his IQ shot up. Amazing. So these are the things in your own life you can encounter. Particularly, I would say that leading a normal life, you will not see that. Because in your school days, it's almost like fakes. Oh, this girl is very bright. This boy is very bright. For example, like this girl. This Kezongmo is very bright. One of the toppers. Yes. This is raise hand. Okay. So she's hiding. Okay, so what I'm saying is that in school days, it's more like fakes. You know that, okay, she's smart, he's smart. And then you go to college. In the college, okay, the competition-wise is not really, in school days, competition very strong. And then in college days, you finish your college, and then you go into job, finish. Then you will not really get the chance to see that there's a Buddha nature in somebody. Whereas here in this class, I would say that for example, like the Nalanda studies, for example, here in Ladakh, there are many centers around. One is the Atisha Center, Atisha Dhamma Center is there, which is doing so good. So likewise, I learned that there are many centers there. This is so good. And they say, what I'm more closely associated with is the Nalanda studies undertaken Tibet House, Delhi. So there, I could see that some of the people, they are really growing so fast. Earlier, very average. And then within a span of 2-3 years time, I can see that they grow so fast. And even the IQ level wise, somebody may be, earlier you may say this person is smarter, this person is okay. Later, this person put lots of effort, overshoots the other person. Is also what I've seen. And some, talking about the emptiness, the philosophical, rigorous emptiness concept, within the span of 1 or 2 months' time, I can see that. But the only thing which I sense required is the consistency. Where the consistency is lacking, however intelligent you are, your IQ may be so high, but the growth is so less. This is the reality I've seen. Even though you may be so good in your school days, college days, intellectually, or say the IQ level, you may be so smart, but then with these real the growth, if you're not consistent, then there's no growth happen. I can see that. Because why I'm saying this is that in one center, I'm not going to mention the name, one center, I was given a talk, and within 2 sessions, I started asking questions. And there was one man who was into Dharma, Buddhist philosophy, for the last 20 years, but always not really consistent, not really systematically. It was just like, any teacher comes, give some teaching within this topic, selected topics, then he would always be there, like plus 20 years. And I asked a question, and he raised his hand. Yes, because he's almost like the senior most there. And I gave him the chance. He gave the answer. Answer seems, he seemed to have heard many things, but he could not put them into the proper way. And the answer is very draggery. It's not precise, crystal clear. There's a very young girl. She raised her hand. Answer that she gave is so beautiful. I thought that she must be into Buddhist philosophy for so long. And later, during the tea break, she came and said that I asked her how long have you been studying. She said, no, I've been just coming here for the last 2 or 3 months. And I told him how, so any studies that you, she said that it's just my last 2 months. And that was the time Tibet House, we just started Nalanda studies. And she joined that. And then I was very impressed. Wow, this is a benefit of somebody being consistent. You getting it? Then later, that gentleman was driving me. He always drove me from the center to the hotel where I was put up. And he was on the way. I asked him, did you see the difference in the answer, the quality of the difference in the quality of the answer between the one that you gave and the one the girl gave? And he said, yes. And I asked, what's the difference? And he said that what the girl asked is crystal clear, and what he was saying was a little draggery. And I said, do you know the reason? She said that most likely it is in her case, she has been very consistently for the last, and systematic, consistent for the last few months. But in case it's just always like, topic, no consistency, no systematic studies. So this is something, if I were to share with you here, you also would say that if you're being very consistent and systematic, this is very important. Okay, 3 things to keep in mind. 1, the correct knowledge. Number 2, complete knowledge. 1, correct. Number 2, complete. And number 3, systematic. If you have these 3 things, everybody will shine. It's a matter of time. Everybody will shine. Correct knowledge, complete knowledge, and systematic knowledge. If you learn it systematically, if you get the correct knowledge, if you learn it complete, and if you learn it systematically, you will shine 100%. Your thinking will change. At this moment, how Brainstorm said, that your thinking will change, your perspective will change. And you may be somebody who others don't take you seriously. Then after a while, whatever you speak, others will take you very seriously. Particularly intelligent people will take you very seriously, which means that you have grown so fast. Okay, so this is what we need to remember. So with this in mind, the next is, what is this Buddha nature like? This question. And if we have this, what is it like? So let us try best that, in fact, one of the reasons why we have these, the residential programs is for the people, and that too little intense, and at least for the next 10 days, it's going to be very systematic, and you will build up on whatever you have learned the first day. The second day, you build up on that. So this is how you grow. And towards the end of the retreat, you'll see that you got something. Okay, so this is what is expected. With this mind, for sure, I would recommend, suggest, and of course, as per uh, the rule of this retreat, is that anybody who's enrolled is expected to, do it, take it complete. Do it complete, not just like, okay, 1 day missing, 2 day missing, then you will not get anything at the end of the day. Okay, so with this, what is this Buddha nature like? What is this Buddha nature like? Let me give the metaphor. This is very important. And the say that in the text originally taught by the Buddha, later commented upon by the great Maitreya in the text Uttara Tantra, or the Sublime Continuum, the text known as Uttara Tantra, or in English, Sublime Continuum, in Tibetan, Gyulama. There, the many metaphors were given with respect to what is that hidden treasure within each one of us. And if you understand that, and so how you relate each of these metaphors with the reality of the presence that is within us, you'll be very inspired, and it'll make your life very beautiful. Of course, people go through difficulties here and there. Everybody goes through difficulties. Not only not only you, not only me. Everybody goes through. Somebody who is the kings, queens, prime ministers, presidents, or this CEO, that CEO, whatever. Everybody's going through difficulties. Say they have the facade, and that is what is behind the facade. Behind the facade, that's the issues are there. Tragedies are there. Everybody is going through these things. So with this in mind, say if you gain conviction that I too have the Buddha nature, it doesn't mean that you should be Buddhist. No, it's not necessary. Identify the hidden treasure within us. So many examples will be given, and one of which what Maitreya explained, and later the Acharya Dharmakirti, and the names, they say, you may think that there are so many names coming up, I don't remember. Don't worry, just note down these names, and later on you will see that these names come so often, and then you will come to know the significance, the reason why these names are coming so often. Acharya Dharmakirti, he then explained in detail about what is the Buddha nature. Okay, so let me first give the metaphor and see if you agree. Okay, the Katsabela, is any river around here? What river is that? Indus River. Is it drinkable? Is it drinkable? Wonderful. Is there any factories around?
Not really.
Huh? Close.
There were STP there, sewage treatment plant, water going into the Indus.
Okay. From the plant, the water goes where?
To the Indus.
To the rivers. Is drinkable, not drinkable?
Not drinkable.
Not drinkable. Okay. Now what I see is that how many you have been to Leh the last 2 days? Presents? The last 2 days or more. Last 2 days or more. Or less than 2 days. Presents? Less than 2 days. Less than 2 days. Okay. So let's say that not in the mornings, not in the evenings, in the midday, preparing for His Holiness the Dalai Lama's birthday, right? And Geshe Dorji made us work so hard, and no juice, no water, no cookies, nothing. You feel exhausted, tired, hungry, and ask Geshe, there's no water, something to drink, nothing, no juice. Then somebody says, oh yeah, I think there's water running next to the industry, and that the person brings water from there. The flow of the industry water into the Indus. That water, you want to drink it? You may ask Kasabele, Drink it. He said, no, don't drink it. Why? Hey, Chugila, why? Why not? It's dirty. How many agree with Gansabili and Chugila? It's dirty. Okay, never mind. What we do is that this water which is not drinkable, you subject it to purification process. To purification process, reverse osmosis, ultrafiltration, and other things. Okay, our MTech should be telling us more about this. Okay, so what I'm saying is that then the very clean water comes out. Now you want to drink it? Yes, all the bottled water that we get comes from there. So now we want to drink it. Okay, now tell me, this is very, very, very important. Tell me. So this dirty water, through the purification process, then the very clean water came out, which is drinkable. Now just imagine that, okay, yeah, this is golden. Huh? This gold? It's not gold. It's not gold. Most likely this is brass. Okay, let's say that, okay, there is the brass lid. And once I saw in Jodhpur, when the Jodhpur king, the descendant of the king, he invited His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He was using a gold lid on his cup. And I want this lid to become the gold lid. So what I do, I remove the brass particles. With the water, dirty water, I want clean water. So what I do, I remove the pollutants so that it became clean. So I want this to be gold. I remove the brass particles. What happens? The lid disappears. No gold, no lid. Lid disappears. My question to you is, why in the case of the dirty water, remove the dirt, the water became very clean, water did not disappear. Why in the case of this brass lid, I want to make it gold. Lid made of gold, to turn into gold by removing the brass, forget about becoming gold. Even the lid disappears. Instead of the lid becoming gold, the lid disappears. With the dirty water, instead of the water disappearing, water became very clean. So, what is the difference? Anyone? Okay, the girl here.
Because the pure water was always there, it was just impure. The impurities were making it dirty. So removing the impurities gave us the pure water, which was always there. But in the case of grass, it never had.
It's Nida. What Nida is saying is that with the water, the pure water is always there. Are you sure? I'll take you there to the river, and you tell me which part is the pure. Everywhere is dirty.
That's only because of the dirty elements in the water.
So there's no pure water. I take the first part is impure, second part also impure, third part also impure. So where is the pure water?
I take out the dirt and the water.
Okay, did you all follow what Nida is saying? Nida.
Nitya. That's fine.
I want to listen to her.
Nitya.
Because sometimes in Tibet House this is a problem. There was young people, they tried to help me. They taught me the wrong thing. Right? Okay, so I want to hear the original. Nitya. Okay. They say, okay, what Nidya said, you all heard it. But she's saying that with the water, in the case of water, in the case of dirty water, the clean water, pure water is always there. Right? Okay. Whether for me to accept it, not accept it, you will not know from my facial expression. You cannot make it. You're getting it? I will not comment on this at the moment. But what she said is very important one. Is there anybody who likes to explain the reason? You can put in your own words over there.
I would say, I would add to what she said, the true nature of water, from where it originated. It is clean and very pure. On the other hand, the brass, and the true nature of the brass is it's brass itself.
Okay, what's your name?
Wangshu.
Wangshu. So Wangshu is saying, Wangshu added one word to what Nitya said. Wangshu added the word true nature. You getting it? So I think what Nidya's understanding is that with the dirty water, wherever you look at is dirty, but there is the purity there. And what is that? So this what Wangshu said, that this is known as the true nature. What you see is not the true nature. What you see is the provisional nature. It's not the true nature. Whereas the true nature is hidden. It's hidden. And how do you know the true nature? Remove the adventitious nature. Remove the pollutants. Remove the dirt. Then the true nature manifests. What is the true nature? The purity. The purity of the water manifest is amazing. You getting it? Is amazing. With the brass, remove the brass particles, then the lid disappears, the object disappears. Instead of the brass lead becoming gold, the object disappears. Okay, so what you are saying is that with the brass, there's no gold there. The true nature is not gold. But I know that there are some people who are from the chemistry background or physics background would say that even the brass can be changed to gold. You're getting it? You touch the nucleus of the atoms. Brass made of I don't know how many, say it's mixture of copper and some other things, where the nucleus, in the nucleus, protons, neutrons, the number, and the proton neutrons number in the gold atom number is different. So if you make the number the same as the number of the protons in the gold atoms, this will also become gold, right? Some of you may think like this, but don't think of making it. It's very expensive. Just to make one small piece of, say, brass into another small piece of gold, it'll cost you millions, billions of dollars. It's not worth it doing it. You're getting it? So better say that the nature of the brass is brass. The nature of the water is very clean. True nature of the water is clean, and the nature of the brass is not gold. For the ease of our explanation, okay, how many of you understood this? Yes, raise hands. However dirty the water is, the true nature of water is so clean. So this is what Nadia and Wangshu said, that however dirty the water is, the true nature of water is so clean. Remove the dirt, and the true nature of the water will manifest. And our mind, however defiled our mind is, our mind is not like the brass cup. It is like the dirty water. It's very dirty. Our mind is very dirty, very defiled. But the true nature of mind is never defiled. You getting it? True nature of mind is never defiled. It's so pure. Okay. This is what the 9 metaphors were given, which we'll just later. 9 metaphors were given to understand this, that each one of us, we have this true nature with soap. Just imagine very dirty water, extremely dirty water, particularly, okay, so here, as Kasabili said, they say factory waters, they go into the stream, the main river, but if you want to know what it is like, come to Delhi. I'll show you, right? What is that? Yamuna River, right? You see, then you say, this is mean of the dirty water. Our mind is like that. You understand it, right? However dirty the water is, Yamuna River, however dirty water is, the true nature of water is never dirty. You're getting it? It's so pure. And if somebody were to take water from Yamuna, which is so dirty, and subject it to the purification process, reverse osmosis, ultrafiltration, clean water comes out. Seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. Wow, That's amazing. Beautiful water comes out. From where did it come? From Mount Kailash? From Mount Everest? No, from Yamuna, dirty water, right? This is our mind. However defiled our mind is, the true nature of mind, if we can succeed in removing the mental dirt, the pure mind manifests. It has three perfect qualities: perfect love, perfect knowledge, and perfect power. Is amazing. Perfect love, perfect knowledge, and perfect power. Perfect knowledge makes you very confident, absolutely confident. And perfect love will make you expansively ease, give you the expansive ease, infinite ease, perfect love. And perfect power allows you to benefit all the other beings effortlessly. Perfect power. This is what your mind is like. It's amazing. Why many people, believe it or not, why many people, when they meet with a different, the political heads versus meeting with His Holiness, why even somebody who claims themselves to be very strong otherwise, the moment they see His Holiness, just seeing the glow of His Holiness' face, people run into tears. Why? They see something inside which is missing in others. They're seeing something inside. What is that? The expansive compassion is felt. That you feel that from His Holiness' presence. Expansive compassion and the wisdom. It really is from His eyes, His compassionate eyes. So this makes Him very special. You do have that potential. Your mind, the true nature of mind, is of that nature. You do have that nature. It's amazing. So there's many of us. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and so forth. And they say you peep through what others Facebook or others Instagram and check likes, 1,000 likes, and you have only 2 likes. You feel very sad. You feel very sad. Why? You want people to love you. You agree? Why you feel sad that somebody has 1,000 likes, 2,000 likes, 20,000 likes, and you have only 2 likes? You're very sad. Why? Because you want everybody to love you. But become like His Holiness. Everybody will love you. You do have the potential to become like His Holiness, that everybody will love you. This is reality. So you do have that potential. Why should we not activate this potential? That potential is known as Buddha nature, is the Tathagatagarba. This is a hidden treasure, unfolding which you see that all your, the fears, the tears will stop. And your mind will feel the expansive ease 24/7. That is who you are. That's your true nature. And we feel ourselves so limited. We see somebody else doing better than us, then you feel so low. Somebody who's egoistic, and somebody position higher, or whatever. Physically more youthful, so for whatever reasons, other person seems better than you, you feel a little low. But particularly if a person a little haughty, you feel inferior. This is what happens. But if you know your Buddha nature, you will get the confidence that, no, there's no reason why I should feel low. I do have this same potential. I can awaken this potential. Okay, so this is what the great Indian master, Acharya Dharmakirti. So this name, Acharya Dharmakirti, you come to hear this so often. Acharya Dharmakirti within the next 10 days. Acharya Dharmakirti in this text, Pramana Vartika. Just note them down, and later on you'll come to realize that, okay, the day one, I thought that he is saying so many names, the name of the books, title of the books. So yeah, they are very familiar. It's very easy, not difficult, as what I earlier thought. Okay, so Acharya Dharmakirti, his text, Pramana Vartika, in Tibetan, Samanamdil. In English, the commentary on the value cognition. So, this text, There, Acharya Dharmakita said in Tibetan, Simgi Rangshin Yueselva, Timanamni Lupruva. Let me say this once more in Tibetan, Simgi Rangshin Yueselva, Timanamni Lupruva. In English, the true nature of the mind is clear light. True nature of the mind is clear light. Mental defilements are adventitious. Mental defilements are adventitious. Adventitious meaning temporary. Lupruva. Lupruva meaning like temporary. They're not fixed. True nature of mind is clear light. Mental defilements are adventitious. So what we have learned thus far, he summarized in these two lines. The true nature of mind is clear light or luminous. Is luminous. And the mental defilements are adventitious. Okay, so now for the time being, you understood this. Okay, I do have the Buddha nature. I'm so glad to hear this, but you may not be convinced. It'll take time. Don't worry. At least intellectually know that I do have the Buddha nature. And oftentimes we have to go through stress, unnecessary stress, anxiety, anguish. It happens sometimes. But your true nature, if it's manifests, anxiety is far away. You will not feel the anxiety. Anxiety is far away. There's no room for anxiety. There's no room for stress. There's no room for anguish, becoming anguish. So this is your true nature. It's amazing. So this is something that what I would suggest is that how to actually know. When will I know that? Experiential. When will I know that? How many of you like to know that? Raise hands. When will I know that I have a Buddha nature where one day they say that my stress and this and there's no room in me, right? So how many want to know that? And how very seriously want to know that? So I want to, the two sets of hands coming up. First set of hands is, I want to know. Second one, I'm serious, I want to know. Raise hands, those who are very serious, who want to know that I do have the Buddha nature. If you're very serious, go for a very systematic study of the Nalanda courses. You're getting it? Do go for a systematic studies. And I would say that one person that you can discuss with would be here, Brinslav. He's been very systematic. And just talk to him. And then here we have Venerable the Salam, and maybe tomorrow Venerable the Shinla is coming. And then we have Vajikasana there, and say for example, the several, and okay, so this girl, Namsala, she's actually growing so fast. She doesn't know that she's growing. You're getting it? She's partially asleep, waking up a little bit, waking up. Okay, waking up is amazing. Growth is amazing. And for us, we say, wow, so precious. And she doesn't realize that of the Buddha nature. Like the Buddha nature is radiating, but she doesn't still is in the wake, the half sleep. Waking up. Okay, so this is amazing. What I would suggest when I say Nalanda study, it doesn't mean Tibet House Nalanda studies. You're getting it? Don't mix the two things. Nalanda doesn't mean Tibet House Nalanda. Tibet House Nalanda is just the institution which follows the tradition of the Nalanda, which we inherited like 1,000 years ago. So there are many places where you can undertake such programs. That the only thing that I would suggest is make sure that the studies that you're doing is correct, complete, systematic. You're getting it? And from your side, consistency. You're getting it? Okay. So correct, complete, systematic is the information that somebody is passing on to you. From your side, hey. Hello, from your side, consistency. You're getting it? If you demonstrate that, you don't have to look at anybody else that somebody has a Buddha nature. You will see that I do have the Buddha nature. You're getting it? Once upon a time, you may see some concepts very technical, okay, emptiness, we look at him, his teacher still alive. Venerable Geshe, the Paldesapo Rinpoche, Venerable Geshe Dorji, all these great teachers there, they for us no hope. We may think like this. No, you are the one who will gain conviction to see that within yourself, that within a span of like 2 years, 3 years, and the more consistent you are, you will come to realize that, wow, what the Buddha said is true. I too have the Buddha nature. You getting it? This is amazing. I met many people who do the Nalanda courses at the Tibet House, and one thing that they commonly say is that how come that I met with this tradition so late in my life? Many are saying the same thing. You getting it? So therefore, what I would suggest is that so once you get the information or the knowledge with these 3 attributes, then from your side be consistent. You are in Ladakh. In Ladakh, there are many places where you learn this knowledge. And wherever you are, nowadays, locally you can, things available, and globally also things available easily. So make sure that from your side there's a consistency. If that happens, you will shine. And then when you see that your Buddha energy glows within you, the joy will come. This joy is so profound. It will just eradicate all the unnecessary anxiety, stress, and so forth. It will make you very calm and peaceful. And how do you know that your Buddha nature is glowing? Right? The first indication is that your family members will be the indicators. Right? Your family members, earlier, they see you, they meet you, they're a little tense. They're a little tense, and after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, they see you, there's a joy coming, excitement is coming just to see you. If this is happening, and they turn to you, when there's some problem, they turn to you means that your Buddha nature is being unfolded. You're getting it? You've been growing, so effectively. This is what we need to remember. So with this in mind, and what did Acharya Dharmakirti say? What did he say? The true nature of your mind is clear light or luminous. The true nature of your mind is luminous. But what about my mental defilements? There's no luminosity here. I'm full of mental defilements. These mental defilements are adventitious. Adventitious meaning they're not intrinsic a nature of your mind. They're not intrinsic. They can be removed. Once you remove them, then the purity manifests. That is the true nature. That purity existed as the true nature. It existed as true nature within your mind since primordially. You getting it? Since beginningless time. So it exists within our mind in the form of true nature. So your mind, is it pure? Don't say it's pure. Some people say that it's pure. It's not pure. Your mind is not pure. If your mind is very pure, for sure you will not come to this teaching. You're already bodhisattvas or Buddhas. You will not come to this teaching. If you still come, it's just to check on me, how he's teaching. You're getting it? If you do not come to check on me, which means that you, me, we all, our mind, there's impurities there. Simply because we have the impurities doesn't mean that you have to feel hopeless. You're getting it? Because there's impurities, we come for this class. If there's it's perfectly pure, but you have to come to class. So, therefore, the thing is that this is something we have to get conviction. Okay, now, is there anybody who can, what will be the next question? When I say next question, it doesn't mean that, okay, what is quantum physics? Don't come with the unrelated questions. You're getting it? When is next question? Whatever we said from there, any thoughts come to you that you think requires to be further investigated? So this is what I meant by what's your next question. What we said is that we all have the Buddha nature. We all have this hidden treasure, right? And with examples and with what the great teacher said, like Acharya Dharmakirti, saying that our true nature of mind is luminous, clear light, and the mental defilements are adventitious. And then we said, okay, although I don't experience it, but intellectually it makes sense. right? And then over time, you will experience it yourself. You are being very consistent with this knowledge. You will come to realize that this is very true. Okay, now at this level where you are yet to realize, we made these statements, and this morning what we said is that the Buddha left his palace, went barefooted, leaving all the luxuries behind, left barefooted, and to look for the solution for the problems of all the beings. So finally he discovered that ignorance is root of problem, and the solution is the wisdom. You're getting it? And then there's with this wisdom that he discovered that his tears stop, his anxiety stop, his stress stop. He tested it on himself, and it found to be extremely efficacious, 100% the efficacy. So with this, then he started to go to share this wisdom in the form of teachings, right? So the first thing that we should be taught is that don't feel demoralized. You do have the Buddha nature. You getting it? So what is Buddha nature? We learn about it. Good. What would be the next question? Anyone? Yes, we're there.
Geshe, it's it's a simple question for me.
What's your name?
Laskit.
Laskit.
It's been keep going in my mind, so I have to ask.
Yes.
Is the if I'm feeling I'm suffering because I'm seeing my loved ones suffering, is that considered as an ignorance or ego or
Okay, what Laskit is asking is very serious question. By the way, tonight do you have the class? NIC. Okay, just for information, tonight and the next Thursday, Friday. Okay, just for information, say tonight meaning this evening at 6 o'clock, we have the Tibet House class, which is Nalanda introductory course, and some of you might be from doing the Nalanda introductory course. Raise hands. Those who are doing Nalanda introductory course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, 14. The little girl Tenzi Chiang is there. Raise hand. Higher. Stand up. Tenzi Chiang, stand up. Tenzi Chiang, stand up. She's also doing Nalanda introductory course. Thank you. Thank you, Tenzi Chiang. Sit down. Okay, so we have the class here, class, and those who are not doing who are not a part of the NIC, Nalanda introductory course, please feel free to join us. If you want to join, you're most welcome. Join us here. So the class is going to be here. Tonight is particularly about the managing the emotions. Managing emotions with respect to the feelings of pain. So there are two things. Okay, he abused me, she's abusing me, I'm in pain, versus, oh, he's being abused, I feel the pain. Yeah, right? We see there are two kinds. And this just see Laskit this evening, see if I'll touch this area. This is a very serious question. In case if I'm not going to explain it now, because at the moment we need to flow. But the question that this girl asked is very important. So this evening, if you're free, you're most welcome to join us. And then meanwhile, if I don't touch this evening, but for sure in these 10 days, I will address this question. This is a very important part, is about the managing emotions. Very good. Okay, so what we said thus far, from there, is there anybody who likes to take us somewhere with a question? Anyone? Yes, here.
How do we unveil this Buddha nature inside us? How to connect with it?
How do we unveil this Buddha nature? If it is within us, how do I make it manifest? Like the dirty water? If the true nature of this water is very pure, how should we make it come out as a pure water? By subjecting water to purification process, which separates the adventitious stains and the true nature of the water. Remove the adventitious stains and the pure water is left that is manifested. So what is that How do we do that with respect to your mind? This is a very serious question. This is a question. Thank you so much. Okay, how many agree with Aruna, right? How many agree with Aruna? Okay, now comes how to awaken this Buddha nature. Okay, so for this, let me ask you one question. The question is that what happened was that, okay, say my sweater, 1 month ago, it fell in the mud and I freaked. Oh no, it's a brand new sweater. It fell in the mud, but I washed it under running water. It became so clean once more. And 1 week ago, okay. So this girl is saying that the pain, different people feeling the pains, but with the different situations. So they say one, oh, he is abusing me, and you feel pain. And in the other cases where he is abusing him, I feel the pain. In both cases, you feel the pain, but it's very different situations. So when he's abusing me, I feel the pain. This is related purely related to the self. So whereas in the second case, he's abusing him, I feel the pain. There's an element of compassion. Okay, now the thing is that for the first one I said, for the time being, I'm not going to go into the technicalities. There's a difference there. In the first is about me. In the second is about compassion. It's very different. In the first case, the moment you start to feel affection towards others, this pain will disappear. In the first case. In the second case, you already feel compassion. You already feel compassion towards others, and the pain is coming related to the compassion. So here, the thing is not about the thinking about others. You already think about others. Is about the reality, seeing things like a dream. So when I say to see things cognitively, to see things as dream, doesn't mean that nothing exists. There's not a connotation. We'll study in more detail later. So here, it's about where your affection is not minimized, pain disappears. Your affection increases. Your compassion increases, but the pain disappears when you see things like a dream. So therefore, here, when these emotions arise, the pains arise, there are multiple factors. In most cases, pains arise because of a sense of the self-referential mind. Self-referential mind along with the cognitive error.
Вместе с когнитивной ошибкой.
Whereas with the pain arising out of compassion, it's not because of the lack of compassion, it's because of simply the cognitive error. So therefore, in the first case, you fix the cognitive error or you fix the self-referential mind, the pain will disappear. In the second case, only the cognitive error is there, you remove it, then your compassion increases, pain decreases. Okay, this is a very serious question. We need to think more of this. And then, of course, within 10 days' time, we talk about the self-referential mind and the cognitive error. We talk about these two things. And these two things are the major points that we have to discuss in this class. Okay, now, since still there's no light, so I may invite the next question. Yes.
You said the cause of suffering is ignorance, but I heard it the cause of suffering is desires. So that I can relate to because when the desire is unfulfilled, I feel suffering. But I'm not sure about ignorance because someone can be ignorant and happy.
Okay.
Like they say, ignorance is bliss kind of
Bhavani,
Baba is saying that what he said is that all our miseries are due to ignorance. So ignorance gives rise to miseries. But there's also what is known as ignorance is not misery, ignorance is bliss. So it continues with this, right?
And then the desire.
And then the next is that you will see, oftentimes you see the reference of desire as a root of our miseries. So how do you correlate, bring together without the contradiction? Among these three things, desire as a root of misery is number one, and I said ignorance as a root of misery is number two. And there's also a very common expression that says ignorance is bliss. How do you bring them all together? Good. Okay. So for this, okay, by the way, I've got information that they cannot fix the generator for the time being, which means that the class we have to stop here at the become continue. And the treatment class also, if the generator is not fixed, I don't know whether we can have this class. I'm not too sure if we have enough battery for the laptops. If not, then this will be a problem. But this evening we'll try to make sure that the class is happening. Okay. So to this answer, first one, ignorance is bliss. For example, say that say in a war-torn zone, where there's a war happening, and the little children, no school is bliss for the children. For the elders, no school. Why? There's a war happening. It's a fear, right? And for the children, it's bliss or now holiday. So this is known as the ignorance is bliss for these small children like people who are not mature. This is the meaning of ignorance is bliss. Then the next is in the standard text. Sometimes you see the mention of ignorance is the root of the problems. Other times you see the mention that a desire is the root of the problem, the root of the miseries, the root of the suffering. So what's the difference? Again, it's the same thing where say the desire is something which generally speaking everybody can understand desire. Because okay, say I love cheesecake, which means I desire cheesecake. Everybody knows what is desire. But ignorance, how many of you, when you are in dream, you know that you are dreaming? Cheesecake every day? That's amazing. Okay, how many of you every day you dream? Oh, I'm dreaming now. Do you know that? Okay, in dream, I see them as real. With hands? Dream seen as real is ignorance or wisdom? Ignorance. I don't say wisdom, it's ignorance. Okay. So that is ignorance, and in the dream, you are not aware that you are ignorant. You getting it? In the dream, you are not aware that you are ignorant. In the dream, you are aware that you have the desire. Oh, I love cheesecake. You go out and dream cheesecake. You getting it? So you are aware of the desire, which everybody can easily identify as the desire is the, as we said, you can understand how desire leads to the suffering. For example, let's say putting up our profile pictures. What we do is we filter. We do filter, right? We filter. And then send. And the other part of the world sees your picture. Wow. And then what happens? Everything clicks. Right? I'm not going to say what is everything. Because this is a very holy place, I don't want to say anything. And then they set up a meeting, become aeroplane. Each other, this not people. This is known as desire is the root of the problem. You get me? And then in some cases, one together. And then fight starts. Misery. You do not expect that. You expect the beautiful moment. And it's not beautiful moment. You see the reality. Ignorance is, desire is the root of problems. It's obvious. So obvious. Whereas ignorance is the root of problem. You'll be understood by people who are evolved, who study well, contemplate well, and who become more mature. For example, okay, the Chechen by translate. So now where I said that ignorance as the root of the miseries. Ignorance. This is, even to identify ignorance, this is very difficult. Only people can understand it. Only people can understand what is desire. And desire leads to miseries. Very obvious. But the ignorance as the root of miseries, people don't understand it. Why? Now that you already attended these morning sessions, that the Buddha's two teachers, they themselves, they thought that they were awakened, they were already enlightened, thought that they were enlightened. But Buddha was not happy. Prince Siddhartha was not happy. Why? Because that they also lived in ignorance, which we will discover. Not now. In the course of these 10 days studies, we will discover that why the Buddha was not happy was that they thought that they were not living in the ignorance. They were still in the ignorance. So the Buddha sends a funny, even Buddha at that point, as a Prince Siddhartha, he did not see the ignorance there, but he saw that, but I did not get the solution. I don't know the solution to have all the ways. So in a way, what you were sensing is that still it's not complete. What is that thing which is incomplete? That there's a degree of ignorance there, which even the two teachers, they do not discover that, they do not know that. If these two teachers were alive today, no doubt everywhere in the world, they're going to become the top teachers. Everybody will follow them. They think that they are enlightened masters. They're not. Because of this, Buddha left. Buddha left to seek what? Solution. Which solution? The wisdom to counter the ignorance. The two teachers thought that they wanted to be enlightened, no ignorance. But the Buddha discovered that something is lacking. They still have the ignorance. You're getting it? So therefore, ignorance being the root of the misery is something which ordinary people cannot understand. So therefore, for the ordinary people, the Buddha taught that desire is the root of miseries. Whereas those people who become more evolved, it doesn't mean that, okay, we are not evolved, so this is mental. No, everybody can be evolved. Through studies, contemplation, meditation, everybody can be evolved. So once you evolve, then you will realize that desire comes from ignorance. So behind desire, there's the ignorance in the root. So that's the root. Thank you, Shashinbhai. Thank you all. Okay, we will now do the anti-illusion prayer, page 52. Page 52. Today is a very auspicious day for the reason that Ngari Institute. So the most valuable Geshe Dorji Damdul, they told me that this is more like formally the first program after the more like almost completion of the Ngari Institute. It's a formal and very auspicious, and even during Tathagatagarba, when he first started the monastery, they say they note the monks who just rushed into the monastery because there was a rush big crowd. And Lama saw this as a very auspicious indication. So likewise here, and it's the first more formal, and they come say the gathering after this center now coming to full operation, and it's very auspicious. So that and let us pray. That His Holiness the delicate matters are scattered, that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true source of joy in heaven and on this earth, that He lives long, and that His wishes go fulfilled continuously. And let's also pray that all the wars happening in the world, and all the conflicts, tensions in the world, they come to halt, they come to the ceasefire end, they come to stop altogether very soon, so that everybody can take a fresh the breath of the air of the peace and the relief. And let's pray that the message of the Buddha, the universal compassion, grounded on the understanding of interdependency, profound understanding of interdependency, where the ignorance is eliminated, may this be born in the minds of all the leaders of the world, in the minds of all the people, in the families, everywhere, and that nobody has to suffer because of someone abusing the other. So with this in mind, and let's turn to page 52. I dedicated
Hands are scattered towards the direction of the prayers of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas and the times and to uphold the doctrines of Buddhism. May I, in all my life, the Lord of the Spirit, separate from the formless of my mind and ego, overcome all illusions of the past, renunciation both to the perfect reality stages, and my total lessons, vast and change that I have ignorance, for working effort and the strength of serving and concern. May I become the chief example for all those whose minds are smart to find backwards.
yes.
Auspicious. Okay, now let's say this together. But we didn't get the question. I didn't get the question. Okay, what was the question after the session that we did this morning? The two sessions this morning, one session afternoon. So we talked about the Buddha nature, and first we began by saying Buddha's biography, why he left, to look forward. We said he discovered that we all have the Buddha nature. What is Buddha nature? I explained a little bit. Okay, anyone? Yes. And the question asked is the Aruna asked question, how to uncover this? You getting it? And I was sharing the sweater thing. Okay, so remind me tomorrow. Okay, the gentleman there. Yes.
So this Buddha nature, Buddha nature is a phenomenon. So is it expressible intellectually or it is not expressible? It is just experiential understanding.
Okay, your question is it the Buddha nature is something purely intellectual or this can be experienced also? Answer is both. Initially, it is intellectual, and then it becomes experiential as you go deeper. Okay, so tomorrow we'll continue with this question from the Aruna and the example of the sweater that they fell in the mud versus the second time, and in a week's time it fell somewhere. So this will continue tomorrow. Abge tuje shage rezo chon shenge meto dege ponjomba serge lumbo tabo jebe kushage gebo tela chatselo o mone Mahamona Yeswaha Om Mone Mahamona Yeswaha shaye reso cho shenge meto dege ponjomba serge lumbo tabo jebe ko shaye kyala chaselu mone mone mahamona swaha mone mone mahamona swaha Tage tuje shaye reso cho shenge meto dege bonjomba sege lumbo tabo jebe ko shaye gebo kyala chaselu mone mone mahamona swaha mone mone mahamona swaha Tage tuje shaye reso cho shenge meto dege bonjomba serge lumbo tabo jebe ko shaye yebo kyala chaselu mone mone mahamona swaha 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 mone mone mahamona swaha